It's a vicious cycle keeping many of our wahine behind bars. Drug habits from childhood leading to a life of crime to pay for the habit. But a group of former addicts are trying to change that. Out of their own pockets, they're providing housing and drug counselling to those fresh from behind bars, all guided by kaupapa Māori to help them build a new life on the outside. Kei a Miriana Johnson, tēnei purongo.
Leslie Allen never had the chance to live a normal childhood.
I've been an IV drug user since I was like 12, 13. It was that long ago when I was that young, I don't actually remember starting.
Growing up on K Road in the 90s, meth was becoming rife.
Cooking meth, selling meth, using meth, violence, gangs, all of that was just normalised for me, and it was like living in a movie.
Her father was supplying all of Auckland Central.
So my dad was a drug dealer, and the whole city calls him Pa because he fed a whole city. So I had to share my dad with everybody. Like, no one would ever sleep, okay? So everything was just always going. I was fresh to drugs, so taking meth meant that it hit me really, really hard. I found it quite exciting.
To pay for her habit, she was faced with two options, prostitution or crime. She chose crime.
Gangs, robbery, it was just a daily thing, so I was always caught up on a robbery charge.
At just 34 years old, Leslie has had 152 convictions. Caught in the cycle of drugs and offending, she spent the better part of a decade in prison. This became her home.
We as Māori people are now whakapapering back to jails now. Like, it's the only place that I would feel safe, I would get fed. That was my home, and all my whānau was there. So the land that I feel that I used to belong to is Wiri.
The turning point was her father overdosing.
My dad died with a needle hanging out of his arm. And that's when I decided that I needed to change, because I have a 20-year-old. And the last thing I want to do is give her that enormous weight to carry. And I was going down that road. I was an absent mother. I put addiction first, in and out of prison, involved with gangs. The last bit of the puzzle was for me to die with a needle hanging out of my arm.
In the small Northland town of Kaikohe, there's a glimmer of hope for those trying to get clean.
I came to the hub broken. I guess I had given up on myself. Everyone had.
He Whakaoranga Whānau Recovery Hub is a community space with services for recovering addicts.
At the end of the day, I kept coming back to this thing to make me feel better. It was called alcohol in a bottle that made me feel valid for the day.
Stu Ao and Basina Pehi are former addicts turned counsellors. Since 2015, they've been running community-based programs. They've also worked on the inside, so they've seen how prison is a revolving door for many addicts.
Everyone that's come across from my experiences, they go back in because they haven't dealt with that addiction issue. Addiction plays a big part of escaping reality. It's a solution and an answer to just keep doing what they're doing until the point of some intervention.
And that intervention needed to happen in a new environment.
The thing that was missing was the accommodation. That was the piece that was missing between prison and being integrated into a community group out here. Where do they stay? And the only thing is that they went back into their old environments.
Stu and Bess set up this 9-bedroom whare in South Auckland to provide accommodation for those getting ready for intensive drug rehabilitation. Most of them have come from the prison system. House host Noreen Johns knows the struggle.
Jail was my rock bottom. It woke me up. I thought, wow, I realised what I'd done to my family.
Although she's been clean for 5 years now, working with addicts can be challenging.
I get triggered a lot. You know, with other people's behaviours, reminds me about things that I did in the past.
How do you navigate that?
Cognitive behaviour therapy. I think because I've been in recovery so long, I've learned to use the tools of recovery every day, sometimes minute by minute.
Maintaining routines is key for all of those in the whare.
In addiction, a lot of us don't do that. We can't even get out of bed some days, can't even get into the shower to, wash our tinana. And having a program, having a routine gets you motivated.
Part of her daily routine is making her bed, the same way she did in prison.
Yep, and the sugar. Want a hot drink, bro?
Raiha has been at the whare for a month and a half.
And how's it been? It's been all good, yeah. It's good being around people that are want the same as you, But yeah, I do miss home.
This whare is a lifeline for those here, but Bess and Stu are clear, it isn't just a place to crash.
Everyone that comes into our house, you have to do treatment. There's no ifs, buts, hums or ha's about it. No hohanas. You got to go do treatment.
It's been a beautiful journey. It was really rough and raw, but yeah, I'm slowly finding myself again.
The home is run without any government funding. Those who come into the home chip in for expenses, and it currently has a wait list of 12.
There's a need for pre and post treatment.
Yeah.
And safe houses.
Safe
There's a
housing.
need for that out there.
Yeah.
We would like to develop more houses.
Yeah.
Back in Kaikohe, it's a similar story. Upstairs of He Whakaoranga Hub is Freedom Whare, a boarding house with 13 beds.
We don't have many beds. We have a waiting list that long, and sometimes we don't know how we're going to get the next week done. But we get it done.
Leslie has been clean for about a year now. She has her first job, leading a pilot program in the north, testing methamphetamine users for hepatitis C.
No, well, employment it's the key to breaking the cycle, and you've got to do something that you love. I love testing people for hepatitis C because I'm an IV user. So that's how you keep clean, and that's how you break the cycle, is by giving someone an opportunity to use their bad habits and their past experience to help others.
Today, she's speaking to a group of final year nursing students about her recovery.
Coming to the hub and coming to Kaikohe, it changed my life.
Leslie has not only found a new whānau, but she's finally in touch with her whakapapa. With wraparound support and services, she's been given a second chance at life, and she wants others to have that too.